Hey guys, how are you doing today? Today we're going to go over Ishtar, or Iona, a goddess from Mesopotamian mythology. Haven't done that in a while, but hey, why not? And in her earlier forms, she's associated with the storehouse, meaning dates, wool, meat, and grain, with the storehouse gates being her emblem. She also has a connection to the rain and the storms through her association with the god An, who's a god of the sky, who's also seen with a lion because their roar mimic thunder, and thunder, sky association. As a storehouse deity, she was the bride of Dumuzi. There's a bit more to his name than that, but a god of the date palm tree, usually seen as a young, pretty, and impulsive, being referred to as the lady of the date clusters. Because, dates have like a hard outer shell. According to the internet at least, I don't know what a natural date looks like in the flesh. But she's also known as the planet Venus, and both the morning and the evening star. And she actually has in this way some connection to the actual goddess Venus, or Aphrodite if you prefer. And she was also the patron goddess of prostitutes. A lot of stuff that I would have known about Ishtar is actually not here because the ancient Sumerians used styluses to cut into soft clay to produce a written language for over 3,000 years, until it was later replaced by the alphabetic script. Most of Ishtar's myths and prophecies were recorded using the old writing system, and when they made the update to the new one, a lot of her mythologies and stories were sort of phased out and became less popular and weren't preserved as well. But that doesn't mean that the video's over. I do have a bunch of myths for you. So, whilst cleaning his weapons after dealing with the guardian Humbaba, Gilgamesh is admired by Ishtar, who proposes marriage and some other things. And Gilgamesh likens the goddess to a faulty battering ram and a shoe that bites the feet of its owner. Which probably doesn't sound like rejection to you and me, but it's a rejection. She got rejected, and she doesn't take it lying down. She goes to Anu and convinces him to loan her the Bull of Heaven. The bull does great damage against Gilgamesh and Enkidu, but ultimately loses. The bull fights Gilgamesh and Enkidu, and possibly even ends Enkidu, but ultimately loses. After which, Ishtar mourns its loss with the women of the city. So from that story, yeah, you can tell she's a bit psycho. I mean, the bull sort of didn't just do damage to Gilgamesh and Enkidu, but also kind of caused a bit of chaos on the earth, which means innocent people were kind of screwed over. But considering the perception of people by the gods in this mythology, I suppose it's understandable. Perception being that people exist to serve the gods and can be expendable in certain ways. Now, I do talk about the myth in which Ishtar or Iona goes to the underworld in Erishkigal's video, so I'll link that in a card here so you can go ahead and check that out. But in another myth, the Mies, or the Mess, are a collection of divine information and decrees of the gods, originally collected by Enlil and given to Enki for safekeeping. For some reason, Ishtar wants the Mies, perhaps to pass them on to the people of Uruk, and she travels to Enki's city, Eridu, and gets him drunk. Really, as she traveled to the city, she was greeted by the god with a festival involving a lot of food and drink, and so the two compete to see who can hold their liquor better. In his drunken hysteria, Enki agrees to give Ishtar the Mii, and upon awakening from his drunken slumber, realizes what he's done and tries to get them back. He sends some forces and powerful beings to recover the Mies, but Ishtar repels them with her own pretty useful Mies, bringing Enki's to Uruk for the people. Now, the myth apparently explains why Uruk regained its relevance and leadership compared to other cities, because apparently it was in decline before that. And lastly, we have the story of justice. So Ishtar goes on a journey to reveal crime and carry out justice, traveling from heaven to earth several times. She becomes exhausted by the expeditions and rests by the roots of a tree. Kukalituda sees her resting by his land and removes her clothes, and I'm sure you can figure out what he did next. When Ishtar awakens, she discovers what's happened and swears revenge on the perpetrator. She gave it some thought and then turned all the water to blood. That means drinking water or places that you need a boat to pass, and Kukale isn't happy about his garden's suffering, so he uproots his plants, only to have the wind smack him with dust and partially blind him. Here he sees some sort of apparition of the goddess he wronged and confesses everything to his father, who probably didn't want to see his son suffer or something even worse to happen to him, and tells him to hide in the mountains where the lady wouldn't find him. Now Ishtar found that the whole blood thing didn't work, so she tried a flood. When that didn't didn't work. When that didn't work, she of course turns to Enki, her father, and after some prostrations, some pity and agreement, it was found that she would get some compensation for her loss, but that's about all Enki gives her. So Ishtar transforms into a rainbow, connecting the earth and the sky, and easily finds her criminal. After that, she of course punishes him, presumably by death, considering the fact that humans' role on earth were to serve the gods and gain their favor. If a human or a group of people or a city of people were to not support the gods would of course abandon them. If the people or a group of people or a city of people were to not worship and support the gods would withdraw their support, and demons would probably get them, because no god support equals demons. Sickness and death was also considered to be the wages of sin, so generally, if you were good, you should be good, and if not, then you should be screwed. At least that's a very simplified version of the thought process of the Mesopotamians, ancient Mesopotamians. But that was the video on Ishtar/Iona. What did you think? Do you think she's a crazy goddess? Tell me all your thoughts in the comments below. And of course, if you enjoyed the video, go ahead and slap it a like and subscribe for more content just like this. And of course, you can check the description for the sources I used for this one as well. But until the next one, have yourselves a great day and keep on rocking. Bye bye.